On this episode of Gritty Bowman, we visit with our friends Casey and Jordan Harbertson of MTN OPS. And I try to tell my good friend Jordan that the reason I said he would be a deadweight partner in a train to hunt competition is because I care deeply about him and his wellness. In this podcast, we talk about our plans to attend the upcoming ATA show in Louisville, Kentucky, and we talk about how MTN OPS is trying to bridge the gap between the athlete and the hunter. In fact, we've made a couple of gritty videos to help illustrate how MTN OPS is dispelling the confusion that sometimes plagues hunters and athletes.
Like, lift what? Loser.
And with that, I ask you to please take a moment to watch the following message from MTN OPS. Conquer your unknown. Achieve your dreams.
Dude, spot me, bro. Spot me. Spot me, bro. Where is he? Wait, did you mean... Oh, dude, my bad.
MTN OPS, bridging the gap between the hunter and the athlete. Do you even shoot, bro? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like you're pushing a turd. A gritty turd.
Okay. On your mark. No, that looks wrong. More like
That looks wrong.
Sorry, that's how I push my turns.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
More.
Yeah, one more. You're not getting tired, are you?
Hello, alright, you're listening to the Gritty Bowman, home of gritty bow hunting films, interviews, tall tales, and a wee bit of manly boasting.
I'm South Cox, and you're listening to The Gritty Bowman.
Hey, this is Corey Jacobson, and you're listening to The Gritty Bowman.
We born and raised outdoors, and you've been listening to The Gritty Bowman.
There you go.
I'm Casey.
And I'm Jordan.
And you're watching
The Gritty Bowman.
If you like the show, please go to our website at grittybowman.com and subscribe to this podcast and tell your mates and pals about us. Do us a favour and please take a moment to leave us a rating or a review on iTunes or on our YouTube channel. Send your questions and podcast ideas to grittybowman@gmail.com. If you're listening to this on iTunes, you can see the video version of this podcast on our website at www.grittybowman.com.
All right, folks, welcome to the Gritty Bowman podcast. I'm here with the Harbertson brothers, Casey and Jordan, MTN OPS, and we're headed to the ATA show. Next week it's next week, right?
Next week?
A week from, we're all flying out Sunday night, and then
When are you flying?
it'll start a week from today. So
I'll show up like Tuesday morning.
Yeah,
Plan.
it doesn't even start till Tuesday morning, but we got to get there a little earlier than you.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I've never been to the ATA show. No idea what it's like. I heard you have to have a big belt buckle. It helps to go to the tanning booth ahead of time.
Yeah, you're probably a little too late on the tanning booth. You'd come up bright red.
Dude, in Oregon, I'm blasted by the sun.
Yeah, you guys get so much sun up there in Oregon. Let me tell you.
I'm seriously deficient. Vitamin D is out the window. But
Have you-
when are you guys going to make like a vitamin D supplement, like pure vitamin D?
Have you ever seen the 100?
The 100?
The 100. It's on Netflix.
Oh, it's actually pretty good. Me and my wife watched it. It's about when the world basically ends in nuclear war. Some people live in a bunker. Some people go to space. The people from space come down when all the nuclearness is settled.
The nuclearness is settled. Yeah. When all the nuclearness is settled, and then the awesomeness begins.
Yeah, they basically run out of air out in space and come down. Well, the people on Earth, because they can't go out because of the nuclearness, they are vitamin D deficient.
Oh.
So what do? They capture the people from space that aren't vitamin D deficient because they've been able to see the sun, where these other people haven't because they've been in a bunker. And they harvest their blood to get vitamin D. So that's what we're going to do for everybody is just get people from like California and Florida, harvest their blood, and then give you injections for vitamin D.
Yeah, we'll put it in capsule form though, so it's easy to consume, you know.
You guys are brilliant.
All right.
You're like marketing, engineering geniuses.
We'll call it like
We get all of our ideas from Netflix.
yeah, really greatest subscription ever.
You got all your ideas from Netflix. I need to work on that. Hey, I see that giant bull elk behind you. Which one of you guys shot it?
Not me. Not Jordan.
Not me.
I wonder how
actually.
I wonder how many people that see it recognize it.
Yeah, this is a reminder to me every day of what I didn't do this year. So it's a good motivator. That's not my bull. It's not Casey's bull. It's actually the Fire Bull, which is Eric Chesser's bull from Hush. And he, as you can see how large and enormous it is, he couldn't fit it in his apartment that he was in because the ceilings weren't high enough for it. So it couldn't handle the Fire Bull. So he was fortunate enough to let us
an idea of how big this is. So
Yeah.
this right here is a shed off of a 360 bull. Okay.
This is a nice unit down in southern Utah, and we'll put that next to the Fire Bull.
Does that do justice to show how small that 360 is compared to a 393?
That is crazy.
I don't think a lot of guys realize when they see a bull like this, they'll probably guess it's like a 380, on the hoof. Guys don't realize how big a 380, 390. This bull is actually a 5x6. If he was a 6x6, he'd be like 420.
Yeah. So
Oh.
he's, I think, on one side on his 6, he's over 190 inches alone.
That bull is so heavy.
Yeah, it's very heavy. A very cool bull, and a really, really cool story to go with it from Eric's hunt. You can see it on his YouTube page if you go to Get Hushin' on YouTube, and then I'm trying to remember the name or the title of it.
It's called like the craziest elk hunt ever because the story, I won't ruin it for everybody that watches
just
it.
watch it.
He basically, this is a public land Utah archery hunt, and shoots it early in August.
Shoulder.
Shoulder.
Yeah.
Hides up. A couple days later, bull comes into the exact same meadow and is able to.
So, spoiler alert, Casey wasn't going to tell you, and then he just did. So
he
go
may or
watch
may
it.
not have been able to shoot it again.
That's like me telling you
gonna
what's
have
going to happen in Star Wars. If everybody hasn't seen it, would you like me to lay it out there?
Yes.
You and I were talking about this earlier.
I'm not going to ruin this for you, but Han Solo.
So there's this guy. Really, really incredible story. Persistence, consistency, and going against the grain kind of emulate the story of Eric's bull. Really cool how it all played out for him.
I believe he talks about it on the Meat Eater podcast too, which was it was cool. It's a neat story, neat video. So, folks, if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. I was wondering, are you guys training much? Because it's been kind of gloomy and cold, and we're not getting outdoors much. I mean, are you guys getting outdoors? I mean, you are the fitness icon of the hunting industry, like supplement get fit brand. So, are you guys dropping the ball, or are you carrying the torch?
Why don't you answer that, Jordan, for yourself?
So December, really for me was a cheap month because there's so much goodness that comes from there. And yeah, I practiced my curls into my mouth and maybe a little bit of lifting some jugs of eggnog. It was
Rough month.
It was a really rough month. I'm going to be honest. No, I haven't been working out. I haven't been staying on top of it like I should.
And just so everybody doesn't lose faith in mountain ops, yes, I got back on the horse in December. Our hunts ended end of November, and I never work out during hunting season because I'm too busy hunting.
Yeah.
We're working out on the mountain.
Right. It is what it is. Get great leg days every day. But no, so what I've been doing, the gym has been almost non-existent because of how busy we are every morning and then leaving late every night, getting ready for 2016. Yeah. So at night, me and my wife will actually work out together. We'll turn on Netflix in our room. You're welcome, Netflix.
Second plug.
Free. And we've got some free weights, and then I will grab a counter stools and do different training exercise, whether they're dips or push-ups or whatever.
Now, wait a minute. So, yeah, Casey's been working out, right? What have you been doing?
Yeah.
The Gritty Bowman, we're gritty eating, healthy. Yeah, it's been really tough, to be honest.
Jacket, Brian?
Why don't you show everybody what's behind the
right here?
Great shirt, by the way.
Nice. Okay, put those.
Bam.
Yeah, put those away before they get banned.
Seriously, I have not been hitting the gym very much. I went down there the other day because I've been working out a little bit at home, but I went down to the gym, walked in, the coach down there, my buddy Keith, he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And somebody else walks up and says, that guy. And he's there. I'm like, "That guy what?" And he's like, somebody called in and said, "Do you have a membership where I could just pay like for 1 day a week? So 4 days for the month?" And Keith's like, "Dude, who does that?" And then I walked in the door right then, and they're like, "That guy." And that's kind of what has happened for a while. Gritty Bowman has been time consuming, so I haven't been getting in there as much as I want. But there are certain exercises like rings, any ring exercises, skin the cat or like muscle ups, or if you do handstand push-ups, gymnastics type stuff, where it took so long to get those skills and those abilities that when I take a break, because I'm just so busy, I'll still do those things every day or two. It's like I don't, because it took so long to be able to crank out handstand push-ups, good ones, that I'm like, if I just do them a little bit every day and it only takes a few minutes, you'll maintain that skill. And the same with some of the ring work. And then I'll do a little. The other thing too is, like, let's say you stop doing cardio for a month or two. It's like you're back at zero.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's gone. But if I go back to cardio for 4 to 6 weeks, it's amazing how much progress I can make. It goes away fast, but it comes back quickly. But to put 100 pounds on my back squat could take a year.
Yeah.
At increasing the weight by 10 pounds a month, maybe. That's like 2 pounds a week. That's really good. You hit to a level where you can only put on 2 pounds a month, and you increase your weight on your back squat by 20 pounds by the end of the year, and that's big, right? Well, if you take 4 or 5 months off, that's gone. It can go pretty quickly, and when you go to get it back, it just takes 4 or 5 months, 6 months, a year to put that 100 pounds back on your squat. So what I'm saying is, with strength exercises and gymnastics, I just have a rule where I'm gonna hit that at least 2 or 3 days a week.
Yeah, you have to. Because
they go away too quickly. Cardio, I admit, I totally slack on it because we hate cardio. It sucks. But when you get back out there, it can come back pretty quickly. So That whole bit, I just sort of slack on, especially during the winter months. And plus cardio seems to take time. Like if I come down here and do like 10 handstand push-ups and a couple muscle ups, and I do a 350-pound back squat, set of 3, I'm done. I go back to my computer and whatever I'm working on. But if I want to work on cardio, I got to run like 30 minutes up a hill and then come down, and that whole thing just takes a lot more time. And I got to do it multiple days throughout the week, and like just kind of every day. And so I'm weak.
But all in all, like, okay, so you've got your cardio, you've got your squats, push-ups, everything, strength training, whatever.
Yep.
Do you even shoot, bro?
Do you even?
We're on the Gritty Bowman podcast.
Do you even shoot, bro?
Nice. What's your range, bro?
85 to 150 kilos.
Sweet.
What's your range, bro?
Well, about 70 feet, give or take 10.
Do you even lift, bro?
Mountain Ops, bridging the gap between the hunter and the athlete. Do you even shoot, bro?
Brian's not a gym rat.
He is.
He's a mountain rat.
Okay. So, how familiar are you guys with the barbell? Do you do like power cleans, or are you pretty much more like the bench press?
More of the bench
More the bench press.
Okay. Means you're sissies.
Yeah.
I like Jordan's skid idea. I saw that too. I started trying not to laugh over here. It's like,
Dude, don't even start with me.
How many times have you shot your bow since September?
Like 6.
I shot my bow.
That's what's tough, man. This is real. This is real life. I'm not gonna be that guy to tell you that I've shot my bow every day since not being able to release that arrow at that bull at 60 yards. I haven't stopped thinking about that. I do have a job, and I'm not making excuses. It's tough. It's tough, but it's important. It's extremely important. Just like strength training and cardio, and you kind of alluded to it, right? There's the muscle memory that's gained that you have that helps you to come back.
And I think mobility, flexibility, especially us older athletes.
Yeah, like you and Casey.
Yeah, like me and Casey. What I was gonna say too is I like how you guys are bridging the gap between the hunting community and the fitness community. And
It's an important gap.
Yeah,
like
lots of confusions.
There's a lot of skepticism. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of ill-informed or stereotypes that we're trying to siphon through, if you will, and kind of get to a place where we can help people to see that this gap that's here is unnecessary. There's so much to be gained from incorporating health and fitness into your lifestyle, which hunting plays a huge role into that. Just this morning, Eva Shockey was on Fox Business and was talking about, she's a great representation for the industry, really helping kind of the mass media to understand who we are and why we are the way we are and why we do the things we do as hunters.
Yeah.
And the host said to her, because she said to her, hey, you're an Under Armour hunt athlete. So is hunting becoming more of a true athletic sport? And Eva kind of alluded to, yes, we are a true sport in the sense that there's athleticism that's involved with our sport, but overall it's a lifestyle. Hunting is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really good remark that she made. So yeah, we're definitely trying. She's doing a great job helping to both define and help illustrate to everyone else that this gap of the big, Arnold Schwarzeneggers and the big bodybuilders and guys with their shirts off and stuff like that in that industry, that's what people's perception of supplements is, that I will look like that if I take these. And that's not necessarily the case.
For a long time, I was really big into the whole get your supplementation from your food. Like just eat real food, and you'll get all the vitamins and minerals and stuff that you need. But I was just listening to a podcast with the Tim Ferriss show, Tim Ferriss podcast, the author of the 4 Hour Work Week, and he had Kelly Starrett on there, author of the Supple Leopard, a big CrossFit fitness, like mobility guy. He did gymnastics WODs. He's a cool guy, really, really smart fitness guy. And he said the same thing. He goes, this is just recently. He's like, I'm all about getting your nutrition from your food, all your supplements from your food. He's like, you don't need to take any supplements, for a long time. But then he said he started getting his blood work done on a regular basis. And it's kind of the same thing that I did. I did the same thing. I went and got my blood work done. And he started to find out that there were certain things that he was just chronically deficient in. He just wasn't getting certain micronutrients from his food, just for whatever reason. We grow it in a greenhouse. It doesn't grow in like soil. It grows in fertilizer. Without soil, you can't get minerals. Fertilizer, it'll grow, but it won't have the same minerals in it. Like you eat a stalk of broccoli, it's not going to be the same as a stalk of broccoli that's wild grown. Well, 90% of our food isn't wild grown, really. I mean, there's local supermarkets and stuff that help, but he's like, supplements are huge. So he started incorporating different supplements back into his diet after getting the tests done and could just tweak it. And now he's like, yeah, there's certain things that I just need to take, and they're not the same as the next guy. For some reason, he's like, I just don't absorb vitamin D. I don't. The next guy, though, he can take this, eat this food, and he's got vitamin D. And he went through a couple other things. I found the same to be true. Like there are certain supplements that I take that I just need. If I don't take a supplement, I'm really deficient, and it affects my performance and my health, and I think ultimately my longevity. I was wondering though, so Jordan, so we've established that you and I mean, I haven't been shooting my bow as much as I should. I mean, you've really confessed to wholeheartedly dropping the ball. I will admit I've shot my bow, a couple of days a week in the basement here because it's pouring rain outside. It's been flooding. But Casey, the question of do you even shoot, bro, is still unanswered.
Of course I shoot, bro.
Have you really?
Yeah, so my wife really wants to finish our basement.
Yeah.
And we moved like 2 years ago. We used to live on about 3/4 of an acre, and I could shoot 55 yards in my backyard. It was awesome. Moved to a smaller property. Neighbors are freaked out anytime I bring any bows out, unfortunately. Had the cops called on me a couple times. So I've resulted to shooting, same thing as you, in the basement.
Yeah.
So it's exactly 20 yards from one corner to the other corner. So mine is more working on mechanics. I'll hold on, like just hold my draw as long as I can and then try and make an accurate shot, just imitating, real life scenario.
Kind of like
with really just working on muscle memory mechanics and trying to perfect every shot in any type of scenario. So like it's not every day, but I've been able to hit it a couple times a week in the basement, and I can't wait till it stops snowing here in Utah. We've got like 4 feet of snow here.
Because I'm having to shoot in my garage, and I'm only able to shoot within my garage because it's a third car with it's a 3 car with 4 cars, so it's 2 deep in the third car. So I've got about 15 yards that I can shoot at. So that's where I've been just practicing on holds, anchoring, getting comfortable.
As the Mountain Ops tycoon, I thought you guys lived in mansions with large garages. And
Dude, if that
basements.
was true, I wouldn't be living in Utah. I'd be living in like San Bernardino or
where the sun shines more.
Like I you know where I'd want to live? Well, I don't know if I could live there. I'd like to visit there often. Atlantis, that hotel. What was it in the Caribbean that we went to?
In the Bahamas?
Yeah, in the Bahamas.
Atlantis?
Well, no, it's not Atlantis. That's under the sea.
That's what I was thinking, Casey.
Yeah,
Atlantis, Bahamas. What the?
Bahamas is up here, and Atlantis is technically down here. We still haven't found it. It's a beautiful place. I do love the Caribbean, but I would, if I could put a mansion anywhere, I'd probably put it somewhere in Park City, Utah, up high away from everybody in the beautiful outdoors, because we just got a cabin there and close to Park City. It's in Heber, and every time we go up there, I'm going up there this weekend for New Year's, and Casey's going up there too. It's beautiful. But no, we don't live in mansions. No, we don't live in mansions.
And in case you want to know, I drive a 1995 Jeep Grand Cherokee with 250,000 miles on it.
And the thing rides. You're probably old enough to remember this, Brian. Do you remember those old like boat-like Cadillacs where they just kind of bounce?
Yeah.
That's how his shocks are in his Jeep. Like we'll hit a bump and it's awesome. We just kind of go like this.
Those old Jeeps, that's how they ride. They're
Dude,
pretty nice.
I can go anywhere, like anywhere. The day that thing dies, I'm going to be so sad. But no, we don't live a life of luxury because we put all the money we make back into the product.
Goes right back in. We get enough to keep coming here and make it worth it right now.
It's really cool to see you guys growing. Speaking of ATA show, we're going to be there. We're going to have a bunch of cool guests. So folks that are listening, we're going to interview some neat people, and we're going to show you some behind the scenes, kind of like if you've never been to the ATA show, we're going to try to show you what it's like through our eyes at the ATA show. So there'll probably be some fart jokes and things like that, but interlaced. But it's just going to be us hanging out at the show, and it's going to be cool. Snyder's going to be there. Aaron's going to come.
That's the biggest surprise for me right there. That's more than any guest or any person that might stop by the booth to have Aaron Snyder come.
I'm very curious to see him in a urban setting with lots of people around him. And I'm just going to film his. I think he'll walk around with this mean look, this permanent mean look, which is all fake. Because
we might have to make a safe zone for him behind the banner of him on the Mountain Ops booth, where he can just kind of go behind and get away.
Anybody who wants to spend 300 days in the wilderness a year or more is pretty good about, although he likes people, he likes them at a distance, so this will be cool. I'm excited to go and hang out. Speaking of like upcoming things that are going on, are you guys going to do Train to Hunt?
It's going to be different than a Train to Hunt. It's going to be a Mountain Warrior Challenge is what it is.
Okay.
So we're still getting some of the details lined up, but it's going to be the ultimate, how can I say this without Katie having to edit it out? The ultimate measuring contest in the industry. Basically
hunting, like how well you can truly hunt.
This is both sides of the coin.
Yeah, so how physically fit are you, and how well can you shoot a bow?
How capable you are.
How well can you shoot a rifle? So it's going to be 4-man teams, 2 rifle guys, long distance, 2 bow guys, long distance, okay? First day, it's going to be roughly it's a 2-day event. It's going to be roughly a 5-mile meat haul. So what you do is you have 40 pounds in your pack, simulating an average size pack for the backcountry. Do a 5-mile march, pick up another 40 pounds at the end. So now you're at 80, simulating a harvest, right?
Yep.
Then you got to come back. It's like 3 or 4 miles. It's a little different track that you take back to the finish. So all 4 guys have got to do that. 50% of your score is going to be based on that day 1 portion. After that, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going to be going on. It looks like Traeger Grills is going to be out there. You ever had
Sweet
Traeger?
Good
Oh yeah. You can't screw up with a Traeger. It's
No,
like
you can't.
It's like magic. You drop stuff in, it comes out delicious.
I've put some things in that you would think would be pretty disgusting. They actually come out pretty.
My brother just got one for Christmas. All my brother-in-laws have one. I drop meat off over at Bryce's house probably weekly for him to cook in the Traeger for me. I need to get my own. I just haven't done it. I kind of use it as an excuse to get Bryce to cook it for me.
Well,
it's all right.
It's a good excuse. Just tell him you suck at it, and he does such a good job. And
That's
he'll feel good about it. They don't want to do it. No, so we're hoping. We're talking to a couple manufacturers too to do some demo days out there, both on guns and bows.
So, are you guys going to be part of a 4-man team, like together?
I would hope to be, but at the same time, I got to find out how crazy it is. We do have a guy that's actually running the event. His name's Sean.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever gone and done the Total Archery Challenge, he's the one that runs that.
Yeah.
Sean basically runs around with his head cut off for 4 days, and then the event ends.
Wow.
So we got to find out how involved we have to be before we can commit to doing being a team. But if we don't have to do too much on the maintenance operations side, then we definitely are going to put together a 4-man team.
I was thinking about doing Train to Hunt and some other shoots. Like last year, I went to Tamarack and Hoodoo. That was a lot of fun. I'll probably go again. You guys went to the Total Archery Challenge. So there's a lot of kind of fun events to go to, I think, leading up to the hunting season, which is pretty cool because it used to be that hunting season would be over, archery, and then I would wait until sometimes when I would bear hunt, and then that was it until I went, till September rolled around.
Yeah, that's why a lot of the archers in the industry have started to do the IBO and ASA stuff where you have the 3D shoots.
Yep.
And also just the paper shoots, because it's going back to what we were talking about before with the memory of your muscles, your mind, everything. It's staying tuned in to your body and to, your bow, so that you're not just coming back come September and you're like, oh, let's dust the bow off and let's see how it goes. I haven't touched it in a year, so probably should be shooting pretty straight, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, simulating a real hunt in some of these events and some of these activities, climbing like at Tamarack, the hills, and hiking these and taking long shots or difficult shots through brush, all that stuff it kind of really helps you get confidence as well when you're hitting these things, when you go out and it's the real deal. Plus, it's just fun because a lot of what I crave, and I think what I want to do with the podcast is I enjoy the camaraderie that comes from hanging out with guys that are out hunting, and just that brotherhood that comes from the hunting experience, or like with my daughter, the bonding that happens when you go out together, and you can kind of you get bits of that when you go train together too, whether it's fitness at the local gym or it's a 3D range and you're shooting together. It's all part of that whole training package. And when you go to these events and you compete, there's something about signing up for a competition that gives you the strength to eat better and to get out and exercise and shoot. We're just human. And when we sign up for a competition, it's like this known fact. You take better care of yourself physically, mentally. You prepare. You don't, if you don't sign up for a competition or you're not kind of engaged, you don't have the same motivation to pick up your bow and train.
That's true. And the cool thing about our competition is it's going to be more well-rounded than some of the others, in the sense that there is going to be rifle, there's going to be archery. So with those 4-man teams, you basically run the course together, but as you get to a station, These guys split off and do the rifle. These guys split off and do the archery portion of it. Then they come back together and go to the next station. So if the archery guys are slacking and the rifle guys are killing it, I'm sure they're going to be letting these guys know that they got to pick up the slack, vice versa.
It's tricky business getting partners to do this with you. And I was on the Natural Born Hunter podcast, and I said something about you, Jordan, but I didn't really mean it like it sounded.
Yeah, I think
I'm not aware of this.
I didn't want to.
I haven't listened to this podcast yet.
Really derail the awesomeness of this conversation that we're having, but I think you may want to clarify some of your words from that podcast.
So
I'm not gonna lie. Jordan's on the phone, and our desks are right next to each other here in this room, and
it didn't.
I've got my headphones on, listening to the podcast, and you drop that bomb, and I just start dying because normally we'll listen to the podcast together, but because he was on the phone call, I put the headphones in, and it was such good content, I didn't want to stop.
It's not what you think it is.
What do I think it is? What should I think? Explain yourself, Brian.
See, this is the problem when
I'm not even offended yet. I don't even know what's going on, so please offend me.
So here's the thing, like, what's cool when you're the interviewer on a podcast is if I want to, I can just edit stupid things I say out before I make it public, which doesn't really happen that often. But now and then, something dumb might come out, and or Aaron, more often with Aaron, and we're just, that's not going public, right? And so you can edit some of this. But when you're being interviewed by someone else, like I was with Will and Phil on Natural Born Hunter, their podcast too, we did a joint one. So you couldn't really cut it out. Not that because it sounds worse than it really was. They were asking about Train to Hunt, and they said, you know what? I think Jordan Harbertson's looking for a partner to do Train to Hunt with. You could do it with Jordan. And I was just teasing a little bit, but it sounded a little harsh later. But I said something like, what did I say, Casey?
I wouldn't want to have a dead weight partner.
Oh my God.
I think I said, I don't.
You're as bad as my brother.
Ugh.
I don't need dead weight. I mean,
I don't need dead weight. I mean, dead weight was definitely used.
Yeah, that was used. I didn't mean it like that. I mean, I'm sure. What I was thinking of was when I was saying a partner, I was like, yeah, Bryce. And, I just had in my mind, this would be cool. Like, Bryce and I train together every day. And then they say, Jordan. And it just sort of came out like, I mean, Bryce, like, he can just put up a lot of weight. He can run fast. He could, do strict muscle ups like in reverse. I mean, he's just a bad A. And so when they said Jordan, I equated the two of you together. Not that you're not fit, but if you were to go side by side, you're kind of deadish weight compared to Bryce. But compared to like my brother, you're a fitness phenom. So I mean, there's. So it came out wrong. I didn't really mean it. I hope you're not offended.
I'm gonna have to sit on that one for a while with all of my dead weight.
Hey, you know what? I thought it was appropriate because the moment Jordan received his email that said that he had drawn his elk tag, man, he had all the motivation in the world. Okay.
Yeah.
As soon as we get back from the hunt's over. Where does Jordan's motivation go? Out the freaking window. So Jordan needs to hear crap like that so that he can maintain motivation throughout the year on things.
See, Jordan, there you have it. I was
It's
calling you
good.
out because I care, brother.
Because you're a brother and you care about me, and I appreciate that. And
do you even shoot, bro? I mean, I'm trying to. Do you even shoot, bro?
Well, yeah. Do you even like shoot? Do you even like? Shut up. Here's the thing, Brian. Just because I love you, I would be your dead weight any day of the week. You just let me know, man. I'll tell you what it's done for me. I'll tell you what, and this is kind of moving into this new year, you know, everything comes up with people with New Year's resolutions and new goals and new things people want to do. And there's always a quote that I've loved that a very special person said, a goal not written down is only a wish, right? That kind of goes back to having an event or saying that you're going somewhere because you've kind of put down on paper, hey, I'm going to go do this train to hunt, or I'm going to go do this mountain warrior challenge, and it's now a goal of yours. And unfortunately for me, and this is just, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going to hear this and relate to the dead weight people like Jordan, is if you don't have something written down, and if you don't have a goal, it's hard to be motivated because you don't have any destination that you're going to. You know, I mean, it's important, like it is important to have a healthy lifestyle, incorporating all those things, but what's the goal? It's, I mean, to have a happier life. That's a good goal. If we're a hunter, it's to have better hunting experiences. Those are good goals. But Casey's right. You know, as soon as I got that tag, I mean, my mind, I turned on like beast mode, Yeti mode went into effect.
He was beating me to the trail every morning.
I beat his butt up the mountain every day. He was my dead weight. I just didn't tell him
that, but he was beating me to the trailhead every morning. And I was like, what happened from February to now? Like,
yeah.
Now it definitely helps if you've got some type of motivation to look towards.
It's good to have motivation. It's good to stay consistent. Don't, you know, and that's why I can be honest and upfront with everybody is and like you kind of alluded to, Brian, none of us are perfect. None of us will ever achieve perfection here in this life, but we can have a perfect mindset to at least try consistently to do things that will help improve us as people in general and as hunters. And that can equate to shooting your bow, right? Going to the gym and doing cardio and eating right and doing all those things.
Having a partner that holds you accountable, that's good. Like someone who says, hey, you're dead weight right now. You need to stack it up. Then you have signing up for an event. Those things are highly motivating. They kind of like get you back on track and keep you focused.
Yes, they do.
So, and just like drawing a cool tag, like somebody will draw a sheep tag and it's like, okay, now I'm going to get in shape. Well, it's so much better if you can find a way to stay in shape all the time so that any given day you could go sheep hunting tomorrow if the opportunity came up. And not to mention, it just is a better quality of life. So I'm kind of, but I get it though. You get busy with career and or you know, life, family.
Yeah. You know, the thing that I found is before Mountain Ops, for me, like June was about the time where I'm like, okay, it's time to start prepping. Our hunts start in August, so that was roughly, you know, scouting season was kind of when it would start for me. Last year, it wasn't me, it was actually my best friend that said, dude, let's just start hiking in February. And so I'm like, all right, why not? So the first time we've got this little trail that we will do here that we can do quick enough in the morning, be able to come into work. It takes us about 45 minutes to go up and down. What it is it's an exactly 1 mile. It's 1,500 feet of elevation gain to get to this. So it's basically just straight up the whole way. Get to this point, little rock structure that somebody built. Then we'll come back down. First time we did it, it took us like almost an hour just to get up.
Well, an hour, yeah. Well, with the whole crew, it was like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I mean, because
everybody was on a different
fitness level
of you know what I call conquer. They were able to. One was able to go a little bit faster. One had to take more breaks. You know, some were dead weight and just bring just bringing up the rear, if you will. And you're just like, I'm gonna get up here. Like, come on, man.
I'm just gonna start doing hashtag dead weight.
Yeah,
seriously, I'm going to incorporate it into my life. I'm actually going to print that out. Hashtag dead weight. Hashtag Gritty Bowman. Yeah, and I'll wear a T-shirt, like a dunce cap. That's just a reminder every day, Jordan, that you need to.
Because I love you, brother.
Faces of Brian, so that you could be his partner at a competition.
Actually, what I thought to myself was, if roles were reversed, and this is just my personality, and somebody said that, I would get so fit that I would crush them at the next event. Like that's like
That's your motivation.
yeah. I would just be like, oh yeah, you dead? Really? I'm gonna kill you when this event comes around. I'm going to crush you into the dirt.
And I can tell you this, that having heard that now, I can put on a really good face. But inside, I have nothing but pure fire and desire to just get in really good shape and go kick the trash out of Brian Call at something. I don't care what it is.
I'm here to serve. I'm here for you. I'm here to help you.
But I don't want to beat the crap out of you personally because I love you, and that's why I appreciate you doing that. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the cold hard facts. And I've heard Aaron talk about this. I've heard lots of guys talk about this. But if you can't take some good constructive criticism from your brosifs and from those bros that shoot, right, and those that, if you can't handle that, it's going to be really tough to live life, because life is hard, and you got to accept when you're not stepping it up and being good at what you should be good at. Excuse me.
You get called out a little bit. It's okay.
Being called out's good, man. It's motivating. It shows that you care. If you didn't care, then you'd be like Casey, and you wouldn't even tell me that this has happened. You'd wait until this happened to tell me. That's somebody who doesn't care.
Casey, you got to step up your game.
Yeah, I'll have a talk with him after this. Don't even worry about it.
No, I'm not going to lie. I was waiting for the perfect moment. I didn't know if it was going to be on a podcast or ATA, but I really wanted to see how you were going to backtrack.
It was...
Yeah. It came out, and then I took the little snippet, and I sent it to Katie, and I was like, hey, sis, do you think Jordan will... Do you think this will hurt Jordan's feelings? Because it just like came right out. I mean, it just came out. And she's like...
I think you
she texts me back and she goes, he can handle it. And she had like these laughing, teary-eyed, smiley faces. She enjoyed it, your mockery. But
I have to be a shoulder to cry on when we get done, but he'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, guys, I appreciate you coming on. I can't wait to see you guys next week. I think you guys should get out. Do you even shoot? Focus on that. Fitness.
Better.
I think we can recommit to each one here in this podcast, and to all those listening that if you don't even shoot, bro, then don't even go hunting this year. So let's all go shoot our bows. Bow hunting.
I completely agree.
Sucks, as Cameron Haynes says, but it really doesn't. It's awesome.
Right. I've seen Casey use the chalk. I know he knows how. I know he's a fitness,
and I personally am an amazing spotter. If you ever need someone spotting for you, I can do it.
Yeah,
and I can do it like a champ.
Yes.
Plus, I don't know what your range is.
It's pretty long. It's pretty broad.
Is it pretty broad?
Yeah. I like it that you guys are bridging the gap, between the athlete and the hunter. There are a lot of hunters who really that image is changing. It's cool. It's really cool.
The coolest comment that I've received probably 20 or 30 times since hunting season from individuals through personal messages, emails, whatever, is I didn't realize how important being in shape was until I got an animal on the ground. Yeah. And I think the debate last year that I saw and got tagged in all the time was lifting weights or doing these physical exercises are not going to make you a better hunter. And wait till you get an animal on the ground. I don't care where that animal is. Unless you're able to drag that thing downhill to a truck, that's when the physical aspect kicks in. So that was cool to see. Like a comment I got yesterday from a guy, I'm going to post this picture. He killed a huge bull in Washington. He said, elk shape is real.
Yeah.
And
absolutely. I think it's the same. Like we talked about this a lot with backpacks. Guys will be like, this is the best backpack I have ever used. I mean, it's incredible. And then you put on, 100 pounds in that pack. It's not the best backpack anymore. And a lot of people don't really know, how much it matters until you really load it up. And you don't load it up until you kill something. And a lot of guys don't. I mean, the percentage of archery success is pretty small. You know, a 10% group kind of each year. That means 9 out of 10 never really put an elk on the ground and pack it out. So it's a whole different, you know, you're right, it does. And so you don't really know how much fitness you need, I mean, till you kill an elk. Although with elk hunting, I'll say it can just be a suck fest up until the moment you shoot one as well. I mean, it's a grind in some places. Like where we were, it was like, or the Eagle Caps where we've been, I mean, it's just like every day is just pushing the body to some limits. Then on top of that, you kill an elk. And then it's like, whoa, I thought I had pushed it hard. Now it's like a whole nother level. So, I mean, what Aaron did this year with Colton, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, that takes some serious manness. Or womanness, too. Like, I don't want to be sexist here. I mean, like, it takes some serious toughness.
It does on both sides. And I've seen some pictures and videos of women that are
oh, I know,
out lifting and out packing out men. And so, yeah, it's definitely, it's the thing that I've come to see, and as I experienced this year, and I can probably relate to a lot of guys, is, you know, growing up with a brother and some of his friends who were a little bit more fanatical about hunting than I was at the time. You know, I was always conscious, and I wouldn't say that I had very good confidence as far as my hunting capabilities and my being fit to do it. And so often I got invited to do stuff and go with them and go on these, you know, back country hikes and all this and hunts. And I didn't do it. And it wasn't because I didn't wake up on time. It's because I didn't want to be dead weight. And so it's true that I know that there's a lot of people out there that, you know, are maybe still sitting on the fence and saying, do I really need mountain ops? Do I really need to be physically fit? I've hunted for so many years. I've never needed this stuff. And the question or the answer that I'd give to them isn't that you know, necessarily need this stuff. It's you'll want this stuff. You'll want to be healthier. Because when you are doing all the things that we've kind of alluded to in this podcast, you'll find that your experiences are so much better and so much more rewarding because of the effort and time that was put into it pre-hunt than during the hunt and post-hunt. Yeah. And that's what I experienced even without killing an elk this year. That's what I experienced this year. And it's true. When you are, as you said, Brian, being fit all the time or doing things all the time consistently, it makes the experience a lot easier.
And it's not just with hunting. It's like everyday life is so much more enjoyable.
That's a good way. It's really enjoyable. And so
the time they just hanging out with my kids at the roller skating rink, fun. You know, going and doing, going for a day hike or something fun. And I remember times where I hadn't exercised in a long time, and I spent a lot of time at a desk, and I was really skinny and weak and pathetic and dead weight. And I remember that. And I'm not talking about you, Jordan. I'm just this is me back then. And so what happened was, I remember going with my kids on a little, like, we went swimming in the lake. Dude, I was like exhausted the whole time. Everything I did took so much energy, and I was sore. Like, I was sore unloading the back of the car. I mean, you can go south fast. A couple years of inactivity, and you get back in it, and the quality of life I have right now, through the roof. And a lot, you know, it's very closely tied to my health, the effort I put into health. So, you know, right now my new thing is I'm like reading about all these 65 and 70-year-old like fit dudes that are just like killing it, because I want to know what they did like now to be the way they are today at this age.
You're almost there.
Dude, it's creeping up. And it's funny because I go to the gym and there's 20-year-olds there, 25-year-olds there that I recover faster than them, you know, or you know, there's I'm a happy 41 years old, but I can't. It's like, but I'm not letting up. You know, I'm working at it a little bit every day.
Well, if I've got 10 years to look like you, then I kind of feel like I'm that guy in that cubicle at the desk, dead weight. And if this is what my vision could be, I'm looking forward to the next 10 years. I really am.
Well, that's nice.
I
That's
can't
nice,
wait to
George.
get gritty like you, man.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
When you get there, I would love to do a little gritty, competition where we're partners. But for now, I just don't want to drag your dead weight up the mountain. So.
Nor should you have to.
You've already got an elk on your back, yeah. Or you don't need me. So.
Yeah. So, all right.
So let me take your pack.
I can't wait, guys.
It's gonna be fun. We're looking forward to ATA next week, brother.
Any parting thoughts?
Everybody keep conquering. We've got some stuff coming out here, so look at Mountain Ops. Follow us on social media. We've got some cool fitness programs and things that will help with New Year's resolutions, and not just for the starting this year, but will help throughout the entire year. So some really cool stuff coming. So make sure you tune in to Mountain Ops on all of our social media platforms.
All right, guys, stay gritty.
Hey, you do the same, man.
As always,
All right.
stay gritty, Lenny.
See you guys.
See ya.
All right, friends. Thanks for listening and supporting the podcast. Don't forget about our deal with Mountain Ops. Type in the word gritty at checkout and get 20% off until the end of the year. For those of you who have not seen the Full Draw Film Tour this year and want to go, check out their website for their tour schedule. And if you haven't done so, go and subscribe to our YouTube channel or to the Gritty Bowman TV podcast on iTunes or Podbean so you can see all the latest video content we have produced. And be sure to have a look at the new Elk 101 website where you can find our podcast and other great elk hunting content. Thank you for taking the time to leave us your feedback. We really appreciate your sincere support of our show. Finally, let me leave you with this quote by President Theodore Roosevelt, who in 1905 said, "In a civilized and cultivated country, wild animals only continue to exist at all when preserved by sportsmen. The excellent people who protest against all hunting and consider sportsmen as enemies of wildlife are ignorant of the fact that in reality, the genuine sportsman is by all odds the most important factor in keeping the larger and more valuable wild creatures from total extermination." Friends, always take the time to educate those around you about your role as a hunter in preserving the wild creatures of this world. If you don't, who will? As always, good luck on your hunts and stay gritty.
This is Ty Stubblefield, and you're listening to the Gritty Bowman.
Gritty Bowman.